What's up, everybody? Captain Matt here. Welcome to the Mumbo Meister Crabbing channel. I want to cover two things today. It's going to be pretty quick. First, it's going to be a little bit about myself and my background in crabbing. Second, is most importantly, is what I need feedback from everyone here that's watching this video. Crabbing reports. So since I got your attention with crabbing reports probably more than anything, we could talk about that first. So I've had this idea in my head for a long time. I never really got around to it. I love watching crabbing content, reading about crabbing content. I have a strong passion for crabbing. I love to do crabbing reports. The problem is, and my few crabbing friends I talk to, we call it spot burn, giving out digits, giving away honey holes. I don't know how. I haven't really decided and thought of a good way that makes sense to me to provide crabbing reports. One idea I had was to do like a weekly or bi-weekly's viewer's choice. Let's get you guys to vote, pick a spot, and I'd gladly go out there and crab. I try to get out there 3, 4, 5 times a week, as long as I get the free time, which I usually do. Second was trying to just blur out. I could have a bunch of cameras. I'm going to post a bunch of cameras within my boat here just to make it easier, because when I'm out crabbing, it takes, you're nonstop. If you crab, it's pretty much nonstop. I'm not going to have a lot of time to sit there, do a lot of dialogue and filming, so I'm going to set up cameras and set up the boat where the camera can just record, and then I can edit out the footage. So I thought about I could just blur out backgrounds, then I could lead into a video, but I can't really tell you where it is. If you're a member of Facebook groups, the crabbing forums, you read reports, most of them are generic. The problem with video is, people can pick out landmarks and such and know exactly where you're crabbing. So I could blur it out and be generic. Another idea I had was to delay the reports. If I delay it by a couple weeks or a month, I want to be honest and fair, right? Hopefully that's why everyone tunes into this channel. So I don't want it to be fake, if you will, with the delayed information. But I'm trying to protect my own interests as well. Everyone knows, if you publicly stated where you're crabbing and you caught 2 bushels of monsters, everyone's going to be down there. Typically that's the Y. As soon as everyone hears the Y is on, there's a line up the street just to get a parking spot. I thought about trying to do monthly reports. So I have a lot of ideas, but I'm looking for more. I do crab commercially. I don't want to call myself a professional waterman. I do have a commercial license. I like to get out there. I do sell crabs. So I'm just trying to protect both myself, but yet make it entertaining for everyone else. So if you have any ideas, any thoughts, just throw them down in the comments. My email address is out on the channel information as well. Feel free to email me or leave a comment about any idea you have, because I'd like to hear it. So just a little bit about myself and my crabbing background. As a kid, I was always on the water. Lots of family had boats, always out in the water. A lot of sailing, but some motorboating. Spent a lot of time down in Rehoboth Bay, Dewey Beach. Did just pure recreational, throw some traps out. Always enjoyed it. As I got older, I had less access to boats. Still really enjoyed crabs. Crabs is just a staple since I was growing up. Since I was a kid, that was probably maybe one of the first things I learned how to do was pick a crab. Used to take almost monthly trips down to Gabler's when it was open. It was an awesome spot. Shame it closed down, but I love that spot. So, I always enjoyed crabs. Just kind of got out of the boating scene for a while, started a family, job, all that, lack of time, not enough money. But as I got older and the kids got older and things kind of freed up for me, one random guy at work was talking about crabs. All the guys at work were always talking about crabbing, and they invited me out, and I was just hooked. I was like, why haven't I been doing this sooner? It's like a bummer. I've missed all these years, all the good years and bad years, but I was hooked. We just went out with a trout line. I can't remember where it was. It might have been the Y, it might have been Chester. I can't really remember. But I was hooked. But it took me probably for a year at that point to where I wanted to actually buy a boat. I was literally sitting at a bar along the C&D Canal, having a few drinks, and I was like, that's it. I'm doing it. I need some new hobby, getting a boat, and I'm gonna learn how to crab. I befriended some more folks at work. They taught me all the ins and outs. And you know, crabbing sounds really easy, and it's not overly difficult, but there's a lot to kind of master it. There's all sorts of little tricks of the trade. A lot of it's just knowledge passed down through experience. So while there's lots of great information out there, lots of great videos, I always thought, you know, either the quality, and I'm kind of a little bit of perfectionist, a little bit of OCD. You know, I wish this video that I watched had a little more quality. I wish they covered this in more great detail. You know, and then over the last couple of years, I've been out 20, 30, 50 times a season. And I kept thinking to myself, hey, man, I should need to create a video. This would be awesome to share. I love sharing my stories, and I love hearing other people's stories. So that's that. I bought a boat. Bought my first boat that I owned myself, a small little 15-foot Key West. It even came with, I think, 10 crab traps. They were a little bit beat up, and I thought, hey, let's go. So I kept bugging my friends at work. They were telling me kind of spots to go, things to try. I think the first day I went out in Maryland was a Wednesday. And I was like, oh, let's handline. This will be fun. And, you know, the results weren't great, but it was a fun time. And something that seemed so easy was a little difficult. Just, you know, you pulling the crab up and trying to scoop it up off the net and you're not knowing what you're doing. So even with hand lining, there's a lot to learn. If you like the hand line, just little tricks to make you more efficient. You know, other questions I have were like, where do I go? Where do I launch out of? And all the boat ramps, and can my boat fit on this ramp? Because if you've been around Maryland enough, you know, some of the ramps are just dirt gravel roads. Some of them have lots of depth as soon as you launch. Some of them are very shallow. Then I graduated into trot lines, and I was running a trot line, and that scared the crap out of me. You know, I was doing traps and catching decent amounts. I was like watching these guys with trap line, and the scooping seemed really neat. The dipping was fun, and they were catching lots more crabs than I was. And I was like, I got to learn how to trot line. And that, you know, I mastered it, maybe not mastered it, excuse me. You know, I got it down where I could do it, you know, within a couple tries. But I learned everything, something every season, whether it's from talking to somebody, reading something, just making mistakes. And that gave me more of the desire to make a forum. There is lots of great information out there. I like in video content. I like to see cool scenery. I like to see people's catch. I like to see the crabs themselves and just talk to different individuals. Via crabbing, I've made some really awesome friends. It's a great little community for the most part. So then I got the urge, and I was out in the water more, and my boat was so small. Everyone wanted to come with me. Not really to crab, they didn't like getting up, but we like being out in the water. So I ended up upgrading my boat. Bought a 28-foot tide water. That was awesome. And I had these delusions that I was up on the sassafras, and I had these delusions. I was like, I'll just throw my stuff in my boat and then motor on down. I'm not really worried about gas or any of those things. And I kept my Key West for a while and eventually sold it, and it was just a big mistake. So I missed out, didn't get to go crabbing as much as I wanted to. Had a lot of fun boating out in the Chesapeake Bay, and you know, doing the raft ups and hitting sandbars, hitting all the restaurants. That was great fun. But then things in my life changed. I didn't want that payment anymore. So I bought this Grady that I'm sitting on right now. My kids were getting older, I had less and less help, and I knew I really wanted to crab by myself at some point, even though that by itself scared me. So I got a auto dipper for the Grady, and eventually learned how to do most of this by myself. That was a learning experience. So just continual knowledge, and I'd love to share that knowledge. I love hearing people's stories and feedback, even if the story sounds crazy. But usually there's a bit of truth to each and every one of those stories. So in ending, this channel is going to be all about crabbing. It's going to be about boating. I'm a huge love to do-it-yourself type guy. If I'm not comfortable, I don't mind sending it out. I'm not going to try everything myself. So I used to be scared of doing boat maintenance. Not that I didn't think I could do it, but I was always afraid I'm going to be out in the middle of the water in the middle of nowhere. I don't want my boat to die because I did something stupid or I did something incorrectly. But I've got more and more comfortable. You know, do trailer maintenance. A lot of crabbing. That's another cool thing about crabbing, is a lot of it and the equipment you use is all do-it-yourself. I haven't done a lot of building it myself, but you know, unlike other sports, maybe like fishing, I can't build a reel by myself. but I can build a trout line, I can build a trap, prop sticks, they're all, you know, stuff that you can build yourself. The other thing I'd like to commit to is always showing the good and the bad. If I have a bad day in the water, I'm going to tell you I have a bad day in the water. I won't just kind of skip video. If I have a great day, I want to tell you I'm a great day. But back to the first point at the beginning of this video, you know, I'd like to do it in a way that's not going to hurt me in the same aspect. So definitely I want to show the good and the bad, and be upfront and honest about it the best I can. So that's going to be a wrap for this video. Nice and short. Please, 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 if you do watch it, please leave a comment, tell me, give me an idea. I like this to be a channel that's everyone wants to tune in and watch. Just got to draw that line somewhere, and I need everyone's help to do it. So until next time, I'll catch you later.